Hello. I've been wanting to do a segment on this topic because it generates a lot of questions for both buyers and sellers and also can create an opportunity for some significant problems if the appropriate expectations are not set up beforehand. So the question from sellers is often, do I have to pay for inspections and do I have to complete repairs? The short answer to this question is no. By contract, you will have to allow whatever inspections the buyer would like to accomplish. However, you do not have to pay for any of those inspections. And at the end of the day, you are not required by contract to complete any repairs. I recently showed a house to some buyers where it was specifically stated in the public remarks that the seller would not be providing any seller concessions or lowering the price based on buyer's inspections. The house was being sold as is, and inspections would be done solely for the buyer's information. I used to think that this was kind of a negative way to start a transaction. However, on the flip side of that, it may not be terrible for a seller who is going into this transaction with a very specific mindset. It might not be terrible for them to telegraph the type of buyer that they're interested in working with. At the end of the day, this could save a lot of frustration, time, and money for both parties. Remember, I said setting up expectations is actually a good thing. For buyers, this is not completely bad news for you. Although you need to look at every transaction going in as is, there are many times where unknown problems are identified through inspections. It is not typical for the average person, unless they're experiencing a problem, to, let's say, crawl around in their attic or get up on top of the roof and inspect their penetrations or run a camera down their sewer line. If buyers do these types of inspections and large problems are found, many sellers may decide that a negotiation around fixing some of these issues is better with a buyer who is willing and able to stay in the transaction with you than it is to terminate that transaction by not being willing to negotiate any of these things that the buyer has requested and go back on the market having to disclose these new issues that were found. Disclosure, very important. This is required by contract. So if sellers make a decision not to do, let's say, a pre-listing inspection, and some surprises are found through the course of the buyer's due diligence process, they may be quite willing to negotiate based on some of the surprises that have been brought to the table. Buyers, absolutely, we recommend professionally for you to do any and all inspections to evaluate the home, its potential for problems that you may need to correct in the future, or just to be very knowledgeable on what you are purchasing.